Hi, this is Elisa with XYZ Wellness, and today I'm going to share with you a grounding and centering practice, which I think right about now we could all use. With the idea of starting grounded, we're going to, or finding our sense of groundedness. Hi, this is Elisa with XYZ Wellness, and today I'd like to share with you a grounding practice, a practice to help us feel a little more centered and connected to the earth. And for that, we're going to start on our seat, starting on the ground. So you might want to sit on a block or a couch cushion or a pillow, maybe even just a rolled up towel. And that's going to help us lift our hips so that our hips are higher than our knees. And it will also protect the lower back, that natural curve that we have. So finding your seat, whether it is on the ground, but again, I recommend sitting up a little higher if you can. And we'll bring our palms into our laps with our palms face up. So palms face up is a gesture of receiving, or you might want to have your palms face down. Again, that's going to help with that feeling of groundedness, feeling connected to the earth. So maybe experimenting with those two, seeing which feels better to you today. And then letting your gaze soften. So you can either let your eyes close completely or maybe allow your gaze to soften down towards the earth. As we find that length in our spine, rooting down through the tailbone, and then just getting maybe a little bit taller, imagining that there is a string coming out of the top of the head, and we're getting a micro inch of space between each of the vertebrae, just finding a little more length, a little more expansion. And as we come to the breath, just starting to notice your breath in this moment, noticing if it's smooth and steady or if it gets stuck anywhere. And just being with your breath as it is right now, not trying to change it or shape it in any way, just allowing the breath to be, allowing whatever is. So right about now, we're all in a state of flux and flow, and all kinds of things are happening in the world, and a lot of it we don't have control over. But knowing that right now we have control of our reaction. So using our breath as our anchor and our focus, no matter what's going on around us. And just watching your breath. Noticing again the in-breath and the out-breath as we inhale and exhale through the nose. the baby toe, the inner edge of the heel and the outer edge of the heel. Lifting and spreading the toes, finding that natural lift in the arches. And still keeping that lift in the arch, we'll let the toes come back down to the floor. Keeping our knees soft. And from those strong feet, we're going to imagine that we have roots. Roots that are traveling into the earth, into all different directions. Down into the center of the earth. And those roots are drawing energy, drawing nourishment, drawing sustenance into your body. And you can visualize that energy, that nourishment coming up from the ground, into the feet, up your strong thighs, up to the pelvic floor, up through the spine, through your central channel, and all the way to the crown of the head. Maybe even feeling that you're growing just a little bit taller here. So rooting down to rise tall. Inhaling, we'll bring the hands together at the heart. We're going to go through a few rounds of modified sun salutations. So again, starting with that connection between our feet and the earth, keeping these soft. We'll inhale, taking the arms to the sky. And exhaling, leading with the heart, big swan dive, hands come to the floor. Inhaling, halfway, monkey pose, lengthening through the spine as we draw that belly button in. And then exhaling, hands come to the floor. We'll step the right foot back, lowering the knee down to the ground. And bringing hands maybe to our blocks if you have them. If not, you could use books or any type of support to bring the floor a little bit closer to us. Rear toes can be tucked under or flat on the mat. And hands can stay low, or we can walk those hands up that front thigh. Getting a nice stretch for the front of the back thigh. And choosing a hand position here. So we can choose hands either on the leg in prayer, or if you'd like, lifting one or both arms to the sky. So experimenting to see what feels good for you today. Relaxing our gaze, setting that drishti or that focus as we relax the jaw. And then exhaling, hands come to the floor. We'll step the left foot back to meet the right. And you can come either into a child's pose, a downward facing dog, or you might choose to move through that vinyasa we did just a little while ago. So finding whatever feels good for you. Vinyasa could be on toes or on knees, or you could be resting. And if we're flowing, maybe just one more round. Then coming back into child's pose. On an in-breath, we'll step the right foot to the top of the mat. Coming into low lunge on this side, so now the knee is over the ankle on the right foot. First, creating that foundation with our legs, and then maybe walking our hands up that front thigh, getting that beautiful stretch for the hip flexor. Then relaxing through the shoulders, letting the shoulders draw down away from the ears, making sure we're not creating any tension there. And as we exhale, hands can come to our blocks or to the floor. We'll tuck the rear toes under, lifting the back knee, and then stepping to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway, monkey pose, creating that length of the spine, making sure the back of the neck is long. And we'll exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Exhaling, we'll come back into chair pose. Inhaling up, and then exhaling, leading with the heart, forward fold. Inhaling, monkey pose, hands could be on blocks or shins as we elongate the spine, not worrying about having hands all the way down. And then as we exhale, hands come to the floor, and now we'll round the spine. We'll step the left foot back, lowering the knee down to the floor, walking your hands up that front thigh. And from here, we'll take an option to add a twist. So hands can come to prayer position. And we'll inhale, thinking about lengthening through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. And as we exhale, twisting to the left side. Hands could stay at prayer. We could bring hands to the legs, turning our gaze towards the back shoulder, or maybe to look over the front shoulder. Seeing whichever one makes you happier right now. And then we'll inhale to face that front knee. Exhaling, hands come to the floor. Stepping the right foot back. Again, maybe choosing child's pose or downward facing dog, or to flow through a vinyasa. Not needing to choose the same option each time. And then finishing up, if you are flowing, we'll come into a child's pose to meet. And on the next in-breath, stepping left foot to the top of the mat into that low lunge. Left knee over the ankle. Lifting, and then opportunity for our twist. And every time we twist, we're always going to start with an elongation for the spine. So we'll always inhale, lifting and lengthening, and then exhaling to twist. So we'll twist to the right side, either keeping hands at prayer or bringing hands to the legs. Inhaling, we'll come back to face the front thigh. Exhaling, hands to blocks or to the floor. We'll tuck the right toes under, and then big step into forward fold. Crown of the head reaches down towards the floor, softening your knees. We'll inhale halfway, monkey pose. Exhaling, forward fold. Engaging the belly, lifting it up towards the sky as we inhale, lifting. Exhaling to sit into strong legs in the chair pose. Pressing the feet down, we'll rise tall. And then exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, monkey pose. Exhaling, hands come to the floor. And stepping the right foot back this time. Option is to lower that right knee to the floor. You can keep that knee lifted. Left knee is over the ankle. And we might have hands on blocks that will help us with a little bit of stability if we need it. Another option is to think about hugging inner thighs together. That'll really help create that sense of stability. Hands could stay low. We can walk hands up that front thigh. Remembering anytime we need to, that right knee can go to the floor. Relaxing our jaw. Maybe choosing to lift the arms, or maybe bringing hands to prayer or back to the blocks. Exhaling, hands come to blocks or to the floor, and stepping left foot back. Your choice to be still or to move. Making a choice that fits this side, or how you're feeling in this moment. Flowing maybe one more time if you are moving. And then coming into your choice, child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhaling using the strength of the core, we'll step the right foot to the top of the mat, stacking knee over the ankle. And again, using the blocks to bring the floor a little bit closer to us. Hands could stay low. We're walking hands up that front thigh. Finding an arm option that feels good here. So maybe trying something new, maybe cactus arms, or you take a chest expansion. Lifting to the heart. And then exhale, hands come to the floor. We'll step that left foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, drawing shoulders in towards each other. Exhaling, forward fold. Deepening the bend in our knees as we inhale. Reverse swan dive. And exhaling, finding chair pose. Inhaling. Fingertips reach up, maybe finding a little bit of a back bend here. And then as we exhale, leading with a heart swan dive. Inhaling to look forward, monkey pose, flat back. Exhaling, hands come to the floor. This time stepping the left foot back, big step. We're gonna add in a twist here. So the left hand can stay on the floor. We might bring a block underneath the left hand. Right hand can come to the right thigh. And we'll inhale, lengthening the spine. As we exhale, turning to the right. That right arm can be lifted, maybe looking up. If that shoulder feels uncomfortable, you can bring the hand to the lower back. And anytime you need to, lowering that left knee to the ground if it isn't already there. Exhaling, hands come to blocks or to the floor. We'll step back, finding child's pose, downward facing dog, or moving through a vinyasa on toes or on knees. Just flow 2 times if you are moving. Coming to rest in child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhaling, stepping that left foot to the top of the mat between the hands. Taking an opportunity for that same twist. Right hand on the block or on the ground. Left hand to the thigh. Inhaling, extending the heart forward, extending through the spine. And then exhaling to turn. Left arm can be lifted. Bringing that hand to the sacrum. Finding a sense of equanimity in this twist. And then exhaling, coming out. We'll inhale, stepping forward. Crown of the head towards the earth. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. Engaging that core as we inhale, bending to the knees, reverse swan dive. And then exhaling, sitting into chair pose, drawing navel in towards the spine. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, we're going to bring arms next to the body. And we're going to find that mountain pose once again. So remembering, when we come into mountain, we want to feel that base, that foundation. Rooting down through both feet, rising tall, getting just a little bit taller. And then we're going to think about opening across the chest and the shoulders. So you might choose to, our first option would be to hug an imaginary beach ball. The next option would be to hold onto the elbows, taking a reverse bind, reverse cradle, or you can interlace those fingers. So whichever feels better to your shoulders, and we'll lift and open across the chest and the shoulders, maybe setting our gaze up to that place between the wall and the ceiling. And we're really countering some of that forward leaning we do in our days. So normally in our daily activities, we're leaning forward, looking over devices and phones and steering wheels. And now we're countering that, opening the heart. And to reverse that, to counter that, we'll just give ourselves a nice big hug, a couple of big bear hugs actually. We're going to do one more chest expansion like we just did. So finding whatever felt good. So either holding on at the wrists, the elbows, your beach ball. And as we lift through the chest, we'll remember to keep our feet rooted down, soft in the knees. We can exhale, maybe choosing to come into a forward fold, lifting hands over the head, still keeping those knees softly bent. Pressing those palms together if we're holding on with those fingers interlaced. And then we'll all exhale, releasing whatever hold we have. Bringing hands down to the floor, finding that ragdoll once again. We're going to turn this into a twist. So first slowing this movement down, coming into stillness. I'm just going to turn to the side. So keeping both knees softly bent. We're going to deepen the bend in the left knee. Right hand can come around the left wrist, or we could bring our hand to our block, holding on around the calf, wherever you'd like. And we'll inhale, and as we exhale, we'll twist to the left. Looking up to that hand. Again, anytime we notice any discomfort in the shoulder, we can bring the hand to the sacrum. So you might feel this more in either side of the body, more in the neck. Remembering if the neck's uncomfortable, we can turn the head. Always honoring whatever your body's telling you. As we exhale, we'll come back down. Pause for just a moment to reset. And then deepening the bend in the right knee, hand can come around the left ankle, the calf, or to the block. As we inhale to extend the spine. And then exhaling, twisting to the right. Looking up towards that right arm, or maybe down to the floor. Releasing through the shoulder if that feels uncomfortable. One more breath here. Massaging the belly with the breath, massaging the internal organs. Then we'll exhale, forward fold. Softening those knees, we'll inhale, coming up into chair pose. Lifting through the chest and the heart. Not worrying about how low we get. We press those feet down. We'll inhale, pressing down, rising tall. And getting ready for a little bit of balance. So I just want to work a little bit on balance. Balance is very important as far as being balanced in our lives and having balance and stability. So for today, we're going to do our balancing chair. And we just did a couple versions of chair through our sun salutation. So we're going to flow through chair a few times. Inhaling, bringing arms to the sky, and then exhaling, sitting into chair. Hands can come to the heart or to the thighs, or maybe out in front of the body. And since I'm an option girl, and I always believe that you have the option of moving any way you'd like, you can stay flowing through your chair. Maybe finding some leg strength. You could choose to sit into that chair, really creating that strength. So when we were flowing, we were creating more of endurance through our chair. Now we're getting that strength into the legs. Or you might choose to lift one heel, coming onto the toes, and then the other heel, switching from one side to the other. Or maybe we can lift onto all 10 toes at the same time. So that's a little bit of balance, a lot of balance, and a lot of strength for the thighs and the feet. So just noticing, seeing what feels good to you. Maybe lowering a little down, a little bit more down into your chair. Getting way more into those thighs. But if you have any knee issues, staying up a little higher. And then if you'd like, coming all the way up, trying to stay on those toes. Coming all the way to the top floor of that elevator. Getting into those calf muscles as well. And then we'll lower all the way down. So we'll shake that out. Maybe adding a little bit of counter movement, a little bit of a twist. Circling the hips. And then getting ready to come to the floor. So we'll come back to the top of our mats, finding our mountain, always finding that place of stability, our foundation, rooting down through those feet, letting the shoulders draw back and down, finding your strength and your power, finding your confidence here in this pose, and knowing we can take all of those things with us off the mat. We'll inhale, arms to the sky. Exhaling, hinging forward, big bend in the knees as we bring hands to the floor. And then coming out onto hands and knees, and then onto our bottoms. So we're actually going to make our way back onto our bellies. So coming onto our bellies, can shift any props out of the way. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is nice back bend, back strengthener. And depending upon your back, you might choose to start first with forearms stacked one on top of the other, and the forehead resting on the backs of the arms or the backs of the hands. And if you are comfortable here, if that's enough sensation, you can stay right there. If you want a little more sensation, we can lift now onto the forearms. So bringing the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, forearms are resting on the mat. And we'll spread all 10 fingers really wide. Legs are long. Hips are pressing down to the earth as we draw the low belly away from the ground. So we're creating a little bit of a backbend here. We want to make sure that the shoulders are down away from the ears. So I'll show you really kind of what you don't want. You don't want to be all scrunched up here. So lifting up, kind of like that turtle lifting its head out of its shell. And again, legs are long. We're feeling a little something happening in the low back as we lift that low belly away from the earth. And we're breathing. Nice inhale and exhale. And then very slowly, we're going to lower with control, bringing the forehead down to the mat. Big exhale, letting everything go. So we're letting the spine neutralize. And you can either stay just like this, or you can turn your head towards one side. And if you turn your head in one direction, whichever direction your chin is going, you can let that same knee go out to the side. So nice little release for the spine, letting it come back into a more neutral place. And then we're going to do that again. So we'll bring that left leg back in, or whichever leg is out to the side. We'll bring the head back into neutral. And we can either repeat just what we did, or we can have a modified locust pose. So first bringing arms down alongside the body, if you want to try locust. Forehead is resting on the earth. Those legs are long, and we'll firm through the thighs, maybe feeling the knees start to lift away from the earth. Engaging the belly. And as we inhale, lifting the chin and chest as one unit. Shoulders are still drawing down and away. We're feeling that strength in the low back. So this might be enough right here. So you can stay right here. And only if you want a little more, you can lift the legs, drawing those inner ankles and inner thighs energetically towards each other. Maybe lifting those arms, finding that interlace for the hands once again. Finding your perfect place with all those options, choosing whatever feels best. And then very slowly we'll exhale, releasing down. First finding that neutral spine. Maybe placing hands underneath the forehead. Or you can take that option this time to turn the head to the other direction and bringing the other leg out to the side. One more breath here. We'll bring that leg in, the head back into alignment with the neck, placing hands next to the shoulders, and we'll lift up, either into tabletop, so I can move through cat pose a few times, or if you'd like, you can press back into child's pose. So we want to counter that back strengthening work we did. So our emphasis here, if we're moving through cat and cow, is more on the cat pose, rounding the spine after extending it. So just one more round. And then we'll all come into a child's pose. Big toes can touch, knees can be wide or closer together, whatever feels better to you. We'll just notice how this child's pose might feel any different from the very first one we did. Inviting the hips to sink deeper towards the earth. You might imagine that there's maybe a weighted blanket or just a hand pressing those hips right around the sacrum down towards the earth. Just a gentle weight, inviting a sense of release into the low back. And if you'd like, you can stay here, or you can lift into your last downward facing dog of the day. Maybe it's your last downward facing dog, and maybe adding in any last little bit of movement or stillness that you'd like. You can add in a three-legged dog, or you can walk your dog. Remember, if you'd like, you can be still in child's pose. There's no requirement or need to lift or to change your pose in any way. It's all up to what you need and what your body is telling you. And if we're moving in downward facing dog, we'll finish up any last movement so that we can feel balance between both sides of the body. We'll all come into that last breath in child's pose. And then inhaling up, we'll bring one hip down onto the floor. We'll extend the legs in front of us. We'll make our way onto our back. So holding onto one leg, we use that leg as a handle, come onto our backs. Giving those knees a little hug. So either rocking the knees, or if that feels uncomfortable in any way to the spine, then maybe keeping feet flat on the ground. But if you'd like, you could add in some circles, getting a little massage to the lower back, using the ground to create that massage. If we're circling our knees, we'll go in both directions. Choosing to stay just like that, or you can lift the feet to the sky, maybe holding on behind the thighs, the calves, or reaching for the feet for happy baby. And then you can rock side to side like a happy baby, or staying still like a dead bug. We're holding on at the feet, using strong arms to pull those legs down, getting knees outside the ribs, finding that release for the low back and the hips. And you can move any way that feels good. So think about the way a happy baby moves. They kind of move around with us a lot. They might bend one leg and then the other, and just seeing what your body needs here, what feels good to your body. And sometimes stillness is the choice that feels better. So never being afraid to listen to your body or thinking that you need to look like anybody else, or that you should move like anybody else. And then we'll release and we'll bring those feet down to the earth. And getting into the backs of the legs a little bit, we'll inhale, lifting that right leg to the sky. We can hold on to the back of the leg into the hamstring muscle, or maybe up closer to the calf muscle, whatever feels more accessible to you. And as we draw that right leg back towards the body, getting a nice stretch for the hamstring, keeping this knee bent as much as you need. So if you feel a lot of tightness there, you could bend the knee a little more. We're lifting that heel up towards the sky to get into the calf muscle. So first holding that, and then maybe pointing and flexing the foot, getting into the ankle, the calf, and even the shin now, the front of the leg a little bit more. And then we'll start to make some circles into the ankle. We'll go in both directions. And then taking that right ankle across the left thigh, coming into upside down pigeon pose. We'll flex the top foot, and that's going to protect the right knee. We'll push that right leg towards the front of the room. Staying here, or you can lift that bottom leg. And what I like to do is I like to keep my arms on the floor, because then I have to use my strong core muscles to draw that left leg in towards the body. Sometimes when we hold on with our arms, we create tension in the shoulders. So maybe keeping arms on the floor for today. And if that bottom leg is lifted, we'll flex that foot as well. Getting into that right hip and thigh area, the IT band, into the glute. And just one more breath right here. Lowering that left foot to the floor. We're going to keep our legs just as they are and letting that right leg, the right foot come over to the left side for our twist. Either turning our head up to the right or up to the sky. Now, for some of us, this might not feel comfortable. So if this isn't happening for you, you can stack the legs one on top of the other, finding your twist, whatever feels safest. And we'll let the breath flow easily here. The belly and the chest are spiraling towards the right of the room as the legs come to the left. And inhaling, we'll come back to center. We'll uncross the legs. Just pause to notice how both sides are feeling. You might feel a little more open on one side than the other. And then we'll lift that left foot to the sky. We'll do that on the other side. So again, first getting into the back of the leg, keeping this knee bent as much as you'd like and holding on wherever feels comfortable. We'll lift that right heel or the left heel up to the sky. The toes are drawing down towards the nose. Still keeping at least a little bit of a bend in the knee. Relaxing the back of the neck and the shoulders. And then we'll point and flex. So again, starting to wake up that ankle a little bit or get into the ankle. Feeling that in the back of the leg and the front of the leg into the lower portion. We'll start to circle. We'll go in the other direction as well. Just a few times in each direction, kind of like when we did our hip circles at the beginning of our practice. And then taking left ankle over the right thigh, we'll flex the top foot. Your choice to stay here or lifting that bottom leg. Flexing that foot as well if you lift it. So all 10 toes will be pointing up to the sky. Draw that leg in. And again, with arms down, it really takes a lot more abdominal strength. And if that's feeling too much, you can lower the foot down. Or you could do the position with arms wrapped around that leg, but being really careful that you're not creating any extra tension into the shoulders. One or two more breaths right here. And as we lower the right foot down, take that twist. So if you knew that it was uncomfortable on the other side in the version in this figure 4, you can come out of it, or you can lower that left foot over to the right, turning your head to the right, opening the heart towards the ceiling. Actually turning your head towards the left. Allowing the body and the mind to start to slow down a little bit. Good. Just a few more moments in our practice. So really enjoying this time as we start to slow things down. We'll take just one more breath here in this twist. And inhaling, lifting back up, uncrossing the legs, finding any last final movement your body needs. So if there's a posture or a pose that you know your body needs right now or something you were hoping to do today, and choosing that. And then making any final adjustments. So maybe putting extra layers of clothing back on, or you can prop your body, maybe placing a pillow under the knees or under the back of the head, and we'll come into Shavasana. So for some of us, that might be extending the legs long, with the feet wider than the hips. Arms can be out to the side with the palms face up in that gesture of receiving. Or if you're caring for a low back, you could bend those knees once again. Maybe turning to one side or laying on your belly, finding any final position that feels good to you as we turn our awareness inward. Softening the skin of the forehead and that place between the eyebrows. Relaxing the jaw and the throat. As we feel our shoulders start to soften and relax. Noticing any last areas that might be gripping or holding. And using the breath to release and let go. Either choosing to stay here in Shavasana or gently turning to one side, using the hands to help us lift into a comfortable seat. Coming back to that place where we started our practice as we root down through the tailbone and lift just a little bit taller through the crown of the head. Bringing hands to the space of the heart. So we bow the chin to the chest and feel a subtle lift, feeling the breath in that space behind the heart. May our bodies be healthy, strong, and balanced. May our minds be calm, clear, and serene. And may our hearts offer kindness and compassion to ourselves and to others. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.